applied for us to picture that there is one. Yeah? Simple. So the idea of building something it couldn't build, he got around by saying it was already built, the head. Yeah? So
Yeah.
it implies there already is a self, a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yeah, because it can't make one. It can't create one, but it can imply that there is one already. Yeah. And so it just sings a lullaby all day. Hmm. There's nothing to do about it. I feel I have a lot of faith in awareness. Yeah. And maybe awareness in its raw form here needs an understanding. Well, non-dualities, I think, is an incredible understanding. Yeah. So here, a simple understanding based on the fact that we are being ourselves reality, I feel is sufficient enough. Yeah. So get a certain description of what you're not. Uh, Maybe you can tell with just a tie on. Maybe it needs a tie and shirt. Maybe it needs a jacket. Whatever it's going to need, you're going to see you're not that. Yeah. And then that's really that. That's the point, I feel. Yeah. Is to finally see what you used to look from. And then in doing that, there's a very strong sense, and it finally works because maybe you've been trying to deny what you're not as what you are. Maybe you tried to philosophize around it, but really, when you see it's not you, there's going to be a loss of interest. Yeah. And once you see the birds of interest migrate, you're on to something. Yeah. Yeah. Finally. So, as a non-duality, I don't believe would work as a chant, yeah, or as a repetition. I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not that. Even when Ramana speaks, and a lot of the things that were written about him, what he said was he emphasized that self-inquiry is not a practice. Yeah, it's not something that you do like 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night. It's not, that's not the wrong spirit is there. Yeah. It's you doing something once again. Yeah. And if you read the Course in Miracles, it's funny because they have a lesson for every day. And most of what they say before the lesson is relax. Yeah. Don't try to do this. Don't concentrate. Just check out the room and say to yourself, you're giving everything all the meaning it has. That's all the suggestion is. It isn't like galvanize, gird your loins, galvanize your spirit, surgically laser like, see, no. Yeah. Really check the course. It talks quite a lot. It says relax when you get around to it. Nothing, it's not like, okay, on to the next hill to fight your battle on, and then on to the next hill. It's a relaxed thing because really the underlying fact of all these invitations is you are what you're looking for. So the giant work is already completed. You're already that which you're looking for. So, uh, sticking with that theme, it's a disarming, obviously, because what rises to the occasion isn't you. What wants to arm itself and march into the sunlight of the spirit isn't you. Yeah, that's finally uh, because the mental, we look, it's almost like, people believe you look through glasses, but we look through mental logic. Yeah. We understand things through a prism of mental logic, and the mental logic is insane. It's very myopic And it has a previous programming, which is to reinforce and to support the idea that there's a you. Yeah. So that form of looking is what gets stumped by non-duality and awareness. Yeah. And it's like gives you that German Shepherd thing quite a lot. You're like, what? What? Because you see the roundness of the message can't fit in that square cubicle. Wow. And now you question the square cubicle instead of constantly questioning the round invitation, you question the seeming invited. Yeah. And you realize you're not that. That's all. A little disinterest goes a long, long way. Builds up, and then you get to breathe. Yes, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I wanted to read this thing from the course because it's one of the only things, and I'm sort of tired today. So this is sort of like a what would they call a caffeine drink to some athlete, like super caffeine when I read this. And it's the one, and bear with me. Hopefully you get a sense of the spirit of it. So I don't know I know what they're talking about, but it starts on a very vague paragraph, which is, yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. This is basically a lot of what we do here. Yeah. We're describing what we're not, hopefully to what we are, instead of trying to describe the indescribable to what you're not. We're trying to describe the describable about what you're not to what you are. Yeah, just same. And in this case, this is probably why I love this, because it sounds, uh, I just, I love the direction of it, uh, and it stays on point. So, yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. Isn't that incredible? Because usually, if someone comes over and describes you, and a lot of it may not be nice, the head will try to deny it and will say, that's not me. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That reinforces the not me. Seriously. This way, hopefully you're in a state of malleability, let's say, like in recovery. And so now you hear another description. You've heard a description, and you're going to hear another description of the same thing. And what's the underlying point of both is it's not you, but is not of you. Yeah. Very clear, eh? Yeah. All right. So then the next. But this is where the world starts. It's but still this strange idea. What is this strange idea? We'll make a guess of what it is. But it says this, but still this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. Yeah. There you there you go. There you go. Yeah. So you hear a description, it's not of you. You hear the description, it's not of you. You hear the description, it's not of you. 3 times, 8 million times. Yeah. Yeah. This is incredible, really. It you think is you. So the mental state, obviously, you could say the mental state and thinking have a lot to do with each other. Yeah. The only theater where thoughts could appear is in a mental state. Okay. So here's another description. It's not of you, but the mental state doesn't think so. Of course, it doesn't think so because it already has an idea of you that has replaced the you. Yeah. Whatever that may be. Yeah. It's made up something. So, of course, it doesn't think so. And this is what happens. A lot of times the message is delivered, but what rushes to the door in the mail slot gets the message and says, I don't think so. It's usually the statement and the description is think. Yes. Yes. Well, let me say it again. But still, the strange idea which it does accurately describe you think is you. This is the dilemma. It's just the resistance. Yeah. The invitation of non-duality isn't like a 45-page summation. It's a simple invitation. What's difficult about it is the denial of it and the resistance to it. Yeah. But that denial of it and resistance to it in the understanding of non-duality can be used to see you're not that. Yes? Isn't that beautiful? So what's going to arise for the bait is a made up fish, so to speak. Yes. That's how you recognize it. Watch what when you hear the statement of Ramana Maharshi, be still, and then you see all the shit that gets agitated, that's not of you. That's the point. Yeah. So now you have new eyes, new glasses. When you see agitation, you don't immediately go to the fail-safe mechanism that it's you that's agitated. You see the agitated of what is not you. Yes. You see the mental state got its feathers all roughed up. Yes. So what? It's not of you. Yeah. So something denies the invitation, you greet the invitation with a hallelujah. Yeah. Because something that denies the invitation cannot deny the invitation. Yeah. Unless it has us in cahoots. Yeah. It can say all what it wants, it can think what it wants, and the message still gets delivered. Yeah. All right. So, and they use the word reason. You could use wisdom, I think, but it goes here. First, but still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. What is the strange idea? That the non-existent thing is an existent thing. That's the strange idea. The strange idea is uh, uh, the flute makes the note. Yes, but it has to have breath. Yes. Without the breath going through the flute, there's no note making. Yeah. Yeah. So the non-existent thing is the strange idea. Why? Because it's seen as an existent thing. So, yeah, yeah. Here he goes. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. Obviously, he's talking about these eyes, yes? Yeah. The eye they're speaking of is awareness. These are the eyes that see the world. These eyes are not of you. What? Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours. I mean, you can't say it any clearer. Eyes, yes, we know eyes, not yours. The first thing you say, my eyes. Rebuttal of the not yours. My eyes. Do you really want to work with that and try to convince it? Or do you want it to be just the way it is as a huge, huge demonstration of not being you? I would go with the latter, seriously. I mean, the thumbs stick out for a point, for a purpose, to see that they're not yours. Yeah. Most understandings usually include you. So it will go along with that understanding. Yes. So it's going to be you, just as you are, getting better or getting more radical or getting clearer or purer, but it's still the you. It has no problem with that. It will gobble up those understandings. It will sit around and talk about them at fucking juice bars. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. Yeah. Because you're included and you're going to be going all the way, whatever way that is. Yeah. And in some spirituality, they have presented it's probably going to take lifetimes. So you're going to be going that this way a long way. Only going, never arriving. We see the trip as how many more miles do we have? With non-duality, you see the miles showing the immediate location is right now, right here. Yeah. The same miles, one view, this is just the beginning. I got a long way to go. Another view, oh, I've had enough. I see. I see that upon having never left, the arrival isn't going to be at hand. Yes? Maybe it helped for 50 miles of this mistake or 1 mile or 30 seconds, but those miles now have great value because you've had enough. Yeah. You've recognized the futility of going another foot or another inch as what you're not. Yeah. Yeah. You you will lose interest. Yeah. So reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. Are these eyes located in the thing that we call ourselves? Yes. Is this thing without the animation a non-existent thing? Yes. What is the animation? Isn't it the thing? No. Yeah. But I want to call the animation me, and I will picture it as a thing. So now I'm awake as a thing. That's the biggest lullaby of them all. So reason would tell you, reason, just simple understanding would tell you the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. To whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Yeah. What 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 is it connecting to or contacting? They're going to tell us. You don't even have to think about it. He goes here. Surely not you. What? Surely not you. Whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. We don't waste any more time trying to clear or clarify the eyes that look upon the world. Just get that the eyes that look upon the world are not yours. Yeah. If this is not your vision, what can it show to you? To me, is it's not your vision. That's exactly the point of calling it out, yeah, and recognizing it is not you. What's the whole point? To realize it's not you. And here, the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. Wow. The brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. This you would understand. So far we've heard, surely it's not you. This too you should understand. They put little markers like a highlight in the book without highlighting it. Yeah. So this you should understand. This Colin, Mia, John, Judy, this, yeah. The brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. There you go. If you want to look, if you want to see the space around the stars, you're using the wrong telescope. Yeah. He'll probably see every star, but will miss the space. He'll walk in a giant thing, a giant chalkboard, and the only thing it will be drawn to is the one mark of chalk on that giant black space. Yes. This is not a choice or an individual problem. It's systemic. Yeah. The brain of the action figure, if there even is one, let's say the appearance of that, this brain is meant to interpret everything to the body, as we call self-centeredness. Yeah. So centered on self is everything we take in is seen as it how it pertains to us. Yeah. Now some of people are really screwed in, so their self is very obsessed, so it's incredibly myopic that everything out here gets made small and you get huge. Yeah. And there's degrees because we're in time and space. There's degrees in the obsession of self. There is. Yes. But the principle is exactly the same. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. This you should know. Uh, but what it says you cannot understand. So here's another beautiful thing. That which can understand it is not you, because he just said here, what it says you cannot understand. So if you're going like this with the bullshit going in the head, you're not that, because what you are cannot understand this stuff. Yeah. Yet you have listened to it, of course. Yeah. But what it says you cannot. This is like the paradox of it all here. But what it says you cannot understand, yet you have listened to it. Wow. What happens? A lot of rationalization, excuses, tons of stuff come up. And long and hard you try to understand its messages. You have not realized it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. So if you think something is talking to the soul, you're mistaken. Yes. You have received no messages at all, you understand. For you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Have you ever had a conversation with your head? It usually sounds like it's talking to you. You don't have any room to say anything. It just keeps talking at you. It's not like a little denying. Oh, this is my favorites because of non-duality. Duality is a movement, yeah, a movement that it looks like if you're in looking at the particular movements, you're lost in a sense. But when you see a large swath of movements are a presentation of a pattern, which is you do this and then something unintended happens that way. Yes? Yes? So here he says the first movement, denying what you are. No one is going to say right now they're in the act of denying what they are. But they and I ourselves, just as this is the act of denying what we are. Yeah? It's the act of denying what we are, taking ourselves to be this. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. Wow. Yeah. That seems to be way. It doesn't seem How are you gonna? No, a little ain't gonna work. It's got to be a, yeah, yes. So denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. I don't even what who's doing that? Yeah. No one's told me, as they explained to me, my pronouncing my affirmation is a denying of what I am. Wow. Yeah. And firm in faith in this something else the head has made to be myself. Wow. That one sentence explains a huge amount. Yeah. So we wondering why things haven't worked. Yeah. Because our working for things to work is being used to actively deny what we are. Yes. This is why it's so beautiful. You can never get it because if you could get it, it would actually affirm what you're not as a doer. Yes. But you can never get this because you are it. Yeah. So the more you use activity to produce stillness, it's more activity. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. And now you're seeing what you're not. Yeah. Yeah. And that wanting to produce the stillness is a denial that you are the stillness. I don't believe Ramana said, be still after you went through an arduous path for 30 years. He said it to any Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, Jill that came in, be still and know that you are what? Yeah. It wasn't like, okay, the ones that don't have the requirement go to that side of the room. You guys come here and I'll whisper to you. Yeah. Be still. Yeah. No, it was basically everyone all of the time, always available. Be still. Yeah. And then watch what happens. Watch what cannot be still. It's gonna cook up. It is. And you used to go along with it, tag along with it as you, and now you're gonna look at it through some different eyes. And you're gonna see it's not you. Yeah. And then the active denial of what you are is now the faith, the firm faith that's presenting what you see the shift around. Yeah. The denial of what you are is now being used to point at what you are. The denial of what you are is now used to point at what it is as not you. And then the firm in faith is now resting in the be still. Yeah. So now that faith that was being used to reinforce that something else your head has made to be you is now doing the opposite. The faith now, when the presentation of not you shows up, you see it and it galvanizes the faith that you're not that. Instead of being used as an act of denial of what you are, you're using that act of denial of what you are to promote what you are by seeing what you're not. Yes? Beautiful. Taking the same shit going on, just emphasizing it differently. That's what non duality does. It just shifts. It doesn't, when it looks at the horse being in front of the cart, and then you believe the cart was in front of the horse, it says, no, you're not that which believes the cart is in front of the horse. And then suddenly you see it, but it's always been the horse in front of the cart. You get it? You get the illusory reality that had been presented. It doesn't get replaced. The cart has never been before the horse. We were just looking at it, the horse in front of the cart, and having something tell us the cart was in front of the horse. So firm in faith in that, we believe the cart was in front of the horse. When that faith is removed or goes somewhere else, you see things as exactly as they are. And you realize there's no need to move the cart back to its rightful position. It's never left. The horse is the horse in front of the cart. You just see it anew. That's all. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. This isn't like you tell the truth about the horse in front of the cart and then you go in and then you move the horse, I mean the cart in front of the horse, you move the cart back to the no. You see it, yeah? And then you realize it's not true and then you see as it always has been and will be and is, which is the horse is in front of the cart. Yeah? This is the Zen, blue is blue and red is red. When the head is projecting a made up thing a lot. Yeah. Being firm in faith in it, it's produced an active denial of what we are because we're believing the dreaming that we're in is the reality. Yes. Not the unreality. So we are using what we're not to look for what we are. That's just going to be corrected, and you're going to look at what you're not from what you are. Yeah. Simple non-duality. Beautiful. So here he goes. You have received no, oh, wait here. Yeah. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. I don't like that. Sounds like you're doing it. I like that this something else has made this thing, this idea. So the head makes this idea of a you, yes? And then reinforces that through all the brain activity, taking all the information in and keeps reinforcing the brain. And not knowing any better, we've listened to the brain to tell us what's going on, and it has, but it's in a state of confirmation bias already. It's going to use whatever it can use and emphasize that to reinforce that you're a body. Yeah. So here it goes. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. This something else that you have made to be yourself. I say the head has made it to be you. I don't believe you did it. Yes? Could you imagine if you did it and you try to not do it? You'll be lost. No, you're not doing it. Yeah. This something else that your head has made to be yourself becomes your sight. Do you understand that? The mental state has taken over the event. And now how it looks at life is how you look at it. How it thinks about life is how you think about life. How it feels about life is how you feel about life. Yes? So the living of life is long gone. You're just it's been substituted with an interpretation. And there's a time lag. The head tells us, I'm afraid, and then in like a split second, you mimic, I'm afraid. In one sense, you have no idea what's going on. How many times were you excited about something and the head said it was anxious and fear? How many times do you believe that the head is a good judger of feeling? Do you? It's totally illiterate when it comes to feelings. Totally. It calls lust love. It does tons. It has no fucking clue. We're like a blind person, and the tour guide is blind. Yeah, we're feeling around, and then it goes, "Oh, that's trauma from the past." Give me a fucking break. We don't know what's going on. It doesn't know what's going on. We don't know that it doesn't know what's going on. We're relying on something that's unreliable. Yeah, it has brought about the fruits in our life. Yeah. So here, denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. this is what was described in before. Yeah. And this description is not of you. And here's another description. It's not of you. Yet it must be this something else that sees. Yeah. And as not you explains its sight to you. Hear that sentence and watch. You'll have an example of it right now. The head is doing it right now. You've been replaced. It's substituting it. It's now here listening to this talk. Yes. Yeah. And it's obvious it must be this something else that sees as and as not you explains its sight to you. Yeah. Hasn't the head tried to explain non-duality to you? I'm sure. Yeah. Hasn't it explained that non-duality, meaning you're never going to get it, doesn't really mean that. It's just a subtle thing, but if you do a lot, you are going to get it. Yeah, so don't, those are the jamokes. That's for the jamokes. You're better. So you're gonna be a real slick doer and become a non-doer. Yeah, yeah. And if shit is uncomfortable, you'll say to the person, "It's not me." Yeah. So your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. In other words, if we weren't blind to being awake, which we seem to be, we are awake, period. But if we weren't blind to being awake, all this shit of reliance on another blind tour guide would be totally unnecessary. Yes? Right here. Your vision would, of course, render meaning of your awakeness, awareness, would of course render this quite unnecessary. What? It would render the reliance on something else to tell us about our life. That would be completely unnecessary. Yet, your vision would of course render this quite unnecessary. Yet, if your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, that's implying that uh, we're imagining ourselves blind. Yes. And we're walking around and we're really turning something over to get an interpretation of what's going on. Yeah. Yet, this shit would be completely unnecessary because your vision has not, you are not blind. Yes. And you have, all right, if your eyes are closed and you have called it this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason not to listen, nor to suspect that what this you is not true. What this is telling you is not true. Well, you do have a lot of suspicion now, yeah? That's fucking healthy. If you want to know, like a nut and bolt, second to second time, read these two paragraphs. They're describing the activity of where we find ourselves right now. Yes? All the furniture, all the drapes and the curtains that are hung this way. Yeah. Yeah. When you read it, take yourself out of the picture as the doer of it. You're not doing, you're being done to by it, so to speak. You are not the doer of this. This is mental, mechanical activity. Yeah. It should ring true if you read it because that machinery has been going on and on and on. You must have heard some of those bolts and nuts fucking grating and shit like that. Yeah. It is not of you. Hallelujah. Yeah. Does it say the next page let's find you. No, it doesn't. Let's just see what you're not, put the ball down and see what happens. Yes. Yes. When you're still, what can't be still? Not you. Yeah. When you're enjoying peace of mind, what can enjoy peace of mind? That thing that's determined by time, because it will think, will I be at peace tomorrow? And therefore, it can enjoy peace of mind. Yeah. The idea that you're out of the moment is based on the hope that it could be in a moment. Yeah. But in fact, it cannot be in a moment. It's always out of the moment. Yeah. Awareness rings the bell, and the head arises and interprets the bell. Yeah. Yeah. Time is a trippy thing because we are manufactured as a point in time, and that point in time is not the now. Yeah. There's living, and then there's the quick insertion of the interpretation. But the interpretation doesn't come before the living. The living has to happen for it to be interpreted. Yeah. Yet the interpretation overrides the living in this mental condition. Yeah. You okay with that? All's well. All right. So anyone?
Well, Paul Keith had his hand up for a long time while you were in the middle of that, but he's back, but he's not, doesn't have his hand up. Keith, do you have a question?
Uh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I've marinated with this statement from the Course of Miracles for a long time, and I just want to make sure my interpretation of it is, on point. It's it is impossible for, I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit, but it is impossible for you to understand what fails to reach you completely. Is that basically saying that the brain is never talking to you, the I am? It's talking to the the body, the
Yes.
you. That is
Yes.
that kind of okay? All
Yes.
right,
And then
maybe.
the I am, none of that stuff uh, reaches the I am. Yes.
And does it go the same vice versa as the you know the the I am? You can't, its knowledge can't communicate to the brain,
No.
or is that going a little too?
No, the
Okay,
brain is
a
interprets the
closed system.
body of which it is a part. So a lot of knowledge is not of the body, so that's difficult for the brain to comprehend. Yes.
Okay, so it's a closed system. It
Yes.
can't communicate with you, and you with it. You being the I am, yada yada.
No,
Okay,
it just goes, it has an interpretation, yeah,
right.
of that which is triggered by conscious contact. And it stubbornly holds on to that interpretation no matter what.
Because it's mechanical.
It's mechanical, keeps presenting it. And
Right.
this is great because when there's a you that you may not think is engaged with that, you'll notice it when it can't get uh, this message. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. So hopefully quickly there's a realization of that, and then very little interest goes into the mental state trying to figure shit out, or uh, you the mental logic is got a square like cubicle. It can't roll with what's actually happening. Yeah.
Right. It's got no windows outside. It's close. It's
I
close.
think it should be end of the story with the statement, if you like the
Right.
cause or you feel it's an authority, the statement of the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. I think that should be the end of something there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. That's had a huge impact. Uh, well, every time I read it, because if that isn't noticed, there's a open door in the house that's letting all the heat out and shit. Yes, because the head is relying on a lot of itself, which is unreliable, and it's not going to emit that. Yes, so the system, its main drive is to preserve its position, so it can't tell the truth if it's going to threaten that. Yeah. So after hearing it, you can get a sense of how far it can go and how limited it is. And it should be enough to convince you some whatever you are to in my case, the signs are a loss of interest in it. Yeah. I don't know where the birds go, but I see the migration of them, and that's an indication. Yeah, that something has been convinced and it's moving on. I try to be free as this. Yeah. I wanted to be there to experience my own absence. Yeah. And wanting to be there was much more important than what I thought the most important goal was, like truth or whatever. It was way more important to the system to be there. Yeah. Now, I feel that that came to an end by hearing satsang, and it was put to rest. I don't have any interest in thinking myself into this whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like it's almost like a finality where you finally there's an admittance that the horse is dead that you've been riding. Yes. And all the investment of all the rationale and excuses that kept it denied, the payoff cost is the emphasis shifts and you're convinced it's a dead horse, and then the natural act would be to get off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what we'll take with you because here that which always is doesn't seem to be. So it plays out the way it wants to play out. Something that doesn't need any revealing gets revealed. Yes, it's a paradox, but that's how it works. But I feel in this case I'm convinced of if I look through this telescope, I'm going to see its stars. Yes. Yeah. So I'm not interested in looking through its telescope, whatever that is. Yeah. So, yeah, we're just trying to infect each other with this idea. Really. That's what satsang is. We can lend each other an infection of certainty. Yeah. Rub it around. And then uh, th here the tide will turn sufficiently. Well, you'll have at least a stabilized traveling lighter through the whatever the destiny of the action figure is. And really, that's pretty supreme in a lot of levels. Yeah. Even for the action figure, it has to begrudgingly admit that it couldn't pull it off. And yet it's traveling lighter now. Yeah. So, yeah. That's why I'm here. I'm just so stoked. I've been stoked for ever since. it was what a juicy thing to entertain relief or real relief, and to realize the liberation is from the need to be liberated. That's what the liberation is. Yeah. That which wants the enlightenment is never going to get enlightened. Yeah. Never. Yeah. No matter how much it wants, it's not getting it. Whew, that's enlightened. Yeah. You are now enlightened when you look at it that way, I feel. Then all of your withholding, it's like a nanosecond withheld or uh, lack of permission or looking for, forgiveness or everything. These in Zen, they would say that second can be seen as 10,000 miles. Yes? Yeah, the head is tricky. So this gets to the root. All of its extensions get cut, and you're here, completely here, whatever here is right now for you. Yeah. Did you ever, there's people here in recovery. Uh, my experiences before recovery, uh, you would be on a bottom, but there was still a part of the action figure, the mental level was seemingly out of the bottom, observing it. Yeah. And the day that I got whacked and got struck sober, that thing that would always seemingly escape and observe how fucked I was got caught. The whack happened so fast it couldn't get out. And there it was. Then it was completely seen through. And I've been sober and with no effort or thought, no strong thoughts or feelings about getting loaded for 37 years. Yeah. Now, if that thing had gotten out and had observed that getting struck sober, you better believe it would be sucking some blood out of me every fucking day. Yes? The bondage of self in a weird way would be continuing. But because it was seen and not the seer, it was observed, but not the observer. Yeah? Something that was a magic, yeah. Something that I thought would have taken a whole lot of time instantaneously came to pass. Yeah. So I'm a real believer that if this what you're not, and all of you is a part of that, it's never going to get it. And that's a hallelujah for me. I mean, I completely am drenched in it's never getting it. Yeah. Whatever crash or self-therapy I had to give myself to have it get over that. It's whatever magical thinking that it's not part of the system it wants to get out of has been smashed. Yes. Yeah. I don't have a desire to be out. I don't. I don't see it as a desire. Your nature doesn't need a desire to be what you are. Yeah. It doesn't need a focus or anything. It's what you are. Yeah. All of the mechanisms of the system now show you something you weren't seeing when you were looking from the system. You see it. You see the failure, the failedness of it all. Yeah. Huh. If you believe you could be somewhere else, would you truly be in Novato? Yes, but you would be in a seemingly so that you were somewhere else. Yeah. AA says half measures of value nothing. You're not just a little bit not you. Yeah. And then the next day, more of not you. You're not you. Yeah. 100%. On the you side, it begs to differ. It wants to be the not you as a you. It does. If it comes to that, it'll even agree to that. All right. I'll be a not you as a you. No, well, whatever. I can only share where I am, seemingly, yes. That's all. I stay true to that. I don't try to read much. I don't want to read other people's recipes. Yeah, because it's not from this, I rather have it come out of this bakery. Yeah. 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 There you go. I have a lot of faith in what has moved me, and it's moved me this way. And I believe it's pointless if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from what we're describing. Yes? It's a familiar perch. It's comfortable in lots of weird ways. But if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from it. Therefore, I don't see any point in getting into expansive things of the infinite or whatever. I would just rather say the same thing over and over again for years if it would trigger a recognition of you're not that which is looking. Yeah, you are this, you're what you're looking for, but that which is looking, you're not. Yes. Yeah. So stay true to that. Do the best we can. Yeah. We've left. I mean, some guy I met in Italy, he kept telling me how many hours of YouTube videos we have. I don't know why. Thousands and thousands of them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Paul, you ready for another question?
Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
Hi there. Hi there, team. Um, Paul, I've been listening to you for years, and I really want to thank you for your service. You've helped so many people. And I came about, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And my big issue is I'm quite disabled from autism. And I remember you told me, and I'll never forget it. It's like, well, you just have to admit you've been outmatched. And I'm like, oh yeah. And
Yes.
so basically, I've just been observing it because there's really nothing I can do. And I've got a lot of other issues that I I had a issue where I had to go to the neurologist, and I've got all kinds of shit. Uh, all kinds of shit wrong with my brain. And I guess what I want to ask you, and I'm observing it, and I'm getting rid of all extraneous mental masturbation of all kinds. I mean, just anything that is not associated with staying in the moment and recovery. But how do you handle it when you feel like total dog shit? I mean, I find that I feel like dog shit. And I'm doing everything I can, all best practices that I can possibly do. But I find that I cannot function because I feel so bad. I mean, physically bad, like I
Just
have to go lay down.
lay
How do
down.
I handle this? How do I handle this?
Well, laying down is also a function.
Yeah.
Doing nothing is also a function.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the greatest skillful means is to do nothing. Yeah. Feel like shit. Yeah. Thank God it's not you feeling like shit. Yes. Certain things that are finite take a long time to get to their endpoint. They drag their feet. So the chronic suffering on so many different levels can still go on, but at least there'll be a traveling lighter through it. Yeah. Yeah. So I would throw up your hands again and just you're outmatched for sure. Yeah. I think if there's put that body, let's take it as an appearance here. The head has put a lot of stress on that body. Yeah. And uh when you get a little relief from the head, it's a hallelujah for the body. It can chill out. And you know what they say, I think stress is probably the killer of most things. Yeah, here. Or that's the what inflames organs and stuff like that. And what's fanning all that is the head, obviously. So if you can
Yes.
at least not take yourself so seriously, you'll have some laughs while you're feeling like shit.
Uh, thank you.
Yeah, honey. And here, we offer sanctuary here, solace, just okayness, no matter how unokay you seem to be. There's an okayness underlying all that. Yeah. And, you're going to have a great vacation tonight when you go to sleep. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Isn't that such a relief when you can lay down? And then during that thing, you're going to enter the unknown zone of deep sleep, and you'll get uh, reinvigorated, yes, by the complete absence of an imaginary presence. Yeah. Yeah. So we're all in a certain situation as an action figure. Yes. It's of time, yet it wants to get out of time. It wants to transcend things, but it's seen as a thing. So, yes, it's a pickle. Yeah. The head has lived with the idea that it can get out of it, but it can't. The head is a manufacturer. It's manufactured through the brain, which is a part of the body. Yeah. The idea of you that is going to leave the body is of the body. So blessings to you, honey. And yeah, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
let's all as a habit, not a choice, just stay out of the outcome business. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. We have no idea really what's going on, do we? I mean, look at I had such a strong idea that most of my life, the last 5 years of using was worthless. Yet I came into AA and AA put those 5 years into great use. Yeah. So I have no idea. These eyes that see the world are blind to quite even a lot of the world. So yeah, uh, I need help. I put my hand out and someone helps me. And sometimes someone puts a hand out and I help them. This is part of the scene here, yes? Yeah. If I can articulate things that people have a hard time to, I will come every fucking day here. Yes? I'd rather have that put to use than to be sit thinking about it as me. So I found a purpose in this life, and I've put the action figure begrudgingly has accepted that. And there you go. Yeah. Yeah. If sometimes you're going to suffer, it's just to keep up your empathy level. Just the way it goes. Yeah. When you sometimes you really need to have a sense of something to be able to talk about it. And maybe your purpose on that day and that moment is to talk to someone else about something. And therefore, that thing that you went through, which you felt like, well, I didn't, yeah, had a purpose. It wasn't planned, it wasn't in your plans and designs, but life interrupts your little plans and designs quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, yeah. Do you have a bath, Mary? A bathtub?
Actually, I don't. But where I live here in South America, I can go up to the thermal spas.
Oh, great. Why don't you do that? That's always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you'll have someone that you'll talk to someone at the spa. And if you gain interest in them, you may lose interest in yourself. And you'll leave an hour later and you feel like, wow, I didn't think about that thing I've been thinking about every moment for the last hour. The great gift of service.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do that a lot.
Yes.
It
So there
it
you go.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah, for some people, it's not a it's a necessity. They need to. Yeah. The drawing into that myopicness is strong, so you need to do service to have it pulled out until the habit's broken. The habit may not be broken by the time the action figure departs, but that's what you do. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But we're here.
You're awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no answers. Really. Yeah. All right. Anyone else?
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, we have Robert. Robert, come on
Oh,
in, Robert.
Robert Rossman. Come on, Robert.
Hello, hello. Kind of feel foolish with my hand up. I've never really been able to talk to my teachers, starting with my first yoga teacher. He was no doubt enlightened. And I've spent so many hours watching all the non-dual teachers from, Ramana to Papaji to Muji to Gangaji to, all these teachers teaching non-duality.
We went through all the G's. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of G's. And yeah, I'm in recovery too. So you're my guy, Paul. You're putting it like right where it is. Like you're throwing straight pitches, man. I'm I think I might even hit one time. I don't know. But while you were talking about
I hope it hits you.
being me, right?
Yes. We want you out of the picture.
I get it. Well, I don't get it, but I kind of get it. Like you were saying, the carts before the horse and the horses before, and you read that thing from the Course in Miracles, which I'm actually facilitating a Course in Miracles group and all that, but I can't really follow it with my head, and I remembered something that Muji said about a picture of two black faces. And he said, can you see the white vase in between them? And at first you can't see it because all you can see is the two faces. Then all of a sudden you see the vase.
Yes.
And that helped me because it was like nonverbal. So
Well, that's how the head works from when it snaps out of mental logic to see the white face.
yeah, that kind of helps me. I think I know what's going on. And from your words, I absolutely have no idea.
Yes.
But I feel good and I'm happy. So
That's the thing. It's much better to be directed than to be the director.
yeah, and I'm directing a miracle toward Mary.
Oh yeah, there's grace. Yeah.
Yeah, we can give miracles according to the course.
Well, yes, there's no degrees in them. It can be your basic fare miracles. You can be eating and passing on miracles all day. Yeah, yeah.
So thank you, man. You're doing it for me, and I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to meet you. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's just a great gift. I'm so happy I could be used this way. Yeah. There was a whole lot of using others. So it's a nice boomerang effect. Yes. Yeah. Well, anyone else? If not, we'll say goodbye, I think. Yeah. What a lovely day. Uh, mm, mm. Judy Love. Nice to see you, Judy. Thank you for all the time and everything. Mia, as always. Annette, she's outside, willingly or unwillingly, I don't know, but that's okay. Ernie, Kathleen, as always. Say hello to Charlie. My heart goes out to you. Yeah. Susan, as always, just saw Susan. Such a pleasure. Very yeah, very warm. Steve C, San Diego. Yeah. David Lowe. Yeah. You're always a member of Zen Bitch Slap, David Lowe. Yeah. Even if you get a master's degree, yeah, or letters after your name or before your name, you're always welcome in Zen Bitch Slap. It's the curbside view, the dog shit awareness.
I got too many of those. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total.
How did I know? No, that's nice. All right, bro. Eric Vista, our man there. Yes. I think that's it. Hey, listen, thank you. Thanks,